어서 오세요. 뭘 찾으세요?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Quick Korean. Today we will be studying the section 어서 오세요, 뭘 찾으세요? Or hello, are you looking for something? The topic of today's lesson is shopping. We will learn vocabulary related to shopping and colors. And the grammar points, the modifier 은, and 히읗 irregular verbs. After studying this lesson, you will be able to purchase items in Korean. Lastly, in the culture section, we will explore Korean markets and department stores. Well then, let's get started. First, listen carefully to today's dialogue. In today's dialogue, Jimin goes to the clothing store to buy some clothes. At the clothing store, she speaks with the store employee. What kind of clothes do you think Jimin will find there? Let's take a listen to their conversation and find out.
어서 오세요. 뭘 찾으세요?
짧은 치마 있어요?
이 빨간 치마는 어때요? 디자인이 정말 예뻐요.
네, 아주 마음에 들어요.
So, were you able to understand the conversation? What kind of clothes was Jimin looking for? Correct, she was looking for a short skirt. Also, she ended up getting one that is red. Now, before taking a closer look at the conversation, let's first look at the vocabulary and grammar that come out in the dialogue. First, we have the vocabulary section for this lesson. Our first word is 어서 오세요. Now please read along and repeat after me. 어서 오세요. 어서 오세요. Now let's say a customer has entered a store. The employee at the store would greet that customer by saying 어서 오세요. Now let's go ahead and say this word together one more time. 어서 오세요. Now our next word here is 뭘 찾으세요? Please read along and repeat after me. 뭘 찾으세요? 뭘 찾으세요? Now, let's say the customer has entered the store and the employee wishes to help out the customer. Here in this picture, she can go up to the customer and ask, what are you looking for? In Korean, she would say, 뭘 찾으세요? Now let's go ahead and say this word together one more time. 뭘 찾으세요? Now our next word here is 짧다. Please read along and repeat after me. 짧다. 짧다. Now take a look at the picture here. And we have someone wearing a skirt. So how is the skirt? It's short, right? So in Korean, the word for short is 짧다. We would describe the skirt in the picture by saying 치마가 짧아요. Now let's go ahead and say the word together one more time. 짧다. Our next word here is 치마. Please read along and repeat after me. 치마. 치마. Now in this picture here, we have this right here. It's a skirt, or in Korean, we would say 치마. Now let's go ahead and say the word together one more time. 치마. Now our next word here is 빨갛다. Please read along and repeat after me. 빨갛다. 빨갛다. Now if you see in the picture here, we have this right here. What color is this? Right, it's red, or in Korean we would say 빨갛다. Now let's go ahead and say the word together one more time. 빨갛다. Now our next word here is design. Please read along and repeat after me. Design. Design. Now just from hearing it, you could probably guess design means design in English. Now types of designs include clothing, shoes, and hats. Now let's go ahead and say this word together one more time. Design. Now, let's review the words that we just learned in this section. Now, let's say a customer has just entered the store. How would the store employee greet that customer? Correct. She would say, 어서 오세요. Now, the store employee wonders what the customer is trying to find. She wants to help the customer. So, what would she ask her? Right. She would ask her, 뭘 찾으세요? Now, in this picture, how is the skirt here? It's short. So, in Korean, we would say, 짧다. 짧아요. Now, in this picture, what do we have here? Right, we have a skirt, or in Korean, we would say, 치마. Now, there's a square in this picture here. What color is that square? Right, it's red, or in Korean, we would say, 빨갛다. Now, in the sketch here, there are clothes, shoes, and a hat drawn. What is this? Right, it is design, or in English, design. Excellent.
어서 오세요. 뭘 찾으세요?
짧은 치마 있어요?
이 빨간 치마는 어때요? 디자인이 정말 예뻐요.
네, 아주 마음에 들어요.
Now, let's take a closer look at the dialogue for this section. If you recall, in the dialogue, Jimin goes to a clothing store to go buy some clothes. Now, what kind of clothes does she buy? Well, let's take a closer look at the dialogue. First, she enters the store and the employee greets her by saying, 어서 오세요. 뭘 찾으세요? Or, please come. What are you looking for? Now, what is Jimin looking for? Well, she's looking for a skirt, but not just any skirt. She's looking for a short skirt. So she asks, 짧은 치마 있어요? Or, do you have a short skirt? So the employee responds by saying, 이 빨간 치마는 어때요? Or, how is this red skirt? And she also adds by saying, 디자인이 정말 예뻐요. Or that the design is really pretty. So how does Jimin respond? Jimin responds by saying, 네. So she agrees. It sounds good to her. And 아주 마음에 들어요. So this 마음에 들어요 here basically means it's to my liking. I like it. So that's great. So it looks like Jimin found some clothes that she wanted to buy, and it looks like she'll be able to buy it. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the grammar points for this section. Our first grammar point here is 은. Now this 은 here is used with a descriptive verb, and you use the descriptive verb to describe a noun. So here, in this case, this n here is your noun, and your descriptive verb right here would come in the front part. I think this will be a little more clear if we look at an example. So our first example here is 짧은 치마 있어요? So remember, this is what Jimin asked the employee. Now, what is she looking for? She's looking for a 치마 or skirt. But what kind of skirt? She's looking for one that's short. So you see that there's the 짧다 right there. And the grammar point here is used with this 은. So now this 짧은, meaning short, describes this word that follows, the noun that follows, which is skirt. So combined together, we get short skirt. So let's go ahead and read through the sentence together one more time. 짧은 치마 있어요? Great. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the next example. Our next example here is 예쁜 꽃이 피었어요. Or that a pretty flower has bloomed. So here, let's focus on the noun here, which is 꽃 or flower. And what kind of flower do we have here? Well, we have one that's 예쁘다 or pretty. And you can see that the sound, the neon here goes in here, and that this 예쁜 describes the noun that follows it, and together we get pretty flower. Now, let's go ahead and read the sentence together. Please repeat after me. 예쁜 꽃이 피었어요. Excellent. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at one more example. Our next example here is 맛있는 음식을 소개해 주세요. Or, please introduce me to some delicious food. In this case, we'll focus on the subject here, which is our 음식 or food. Now, what kind of food? We want that one that's 맛있다. So you can see that the 맛있다 or delicious is right here, and this describes the noun, in this case, 음식 that follows. So together we get delicious food. Now please, let's read the sentence together. Please repeat after me. 맛있는 음식을 소개해 주세요. Great. Now, you might be wondering, hey, here we use 는, so you might be wondering, why is there 는 there? Well, don't worry, we'll take a closer look at that right now. So, this grammar 은 is used together with descriptive verbs such as 짧다, 예쁘다, 맛있다, and it is followed by a noun such as 치마, 꽃, and 음식. Now, if we take a look at the first example here, we have 짧다. And what do you notice about 짧다? Well, it ends in a consonant here, right? So, when we have a verb, the descriptive verb, ending in a consonant, we use 은, as you can see right here. So, when we combine together, we combine together here and we get 짧은 치마. Now, what about the case of 예쁘다? You can see in 예쁘다, it does not end in a consonant, it ends in a vowel right here. So what we do is we just attach this final sound here, and what happens is it can't be left alone. So what it does is it goes in here and we get this 예쁜 꽃. Now this third example, this is a little tricky because you'll notice it's 맛있는. So you're probably wondering, wait, isn't this the 은 grammar point? Well, in this case, it's a little special case because when you have descriptive verbs which end in 있다 or 없다, as is the case with 맛있다 here, you add 는 and not 은. So to recap, when a descriptive verb ends in 있다 or 없다, you use 는. So in this case, at the end of 맛있다, we add the 는 and to get us the 맛있는. So we get this 는 right here, which is so whenever you have a descriptive verb which ends in 있다 or 없다, that's the only time where you need to pay special attention. So now let's go ahead and read through the examples together. Please repeat after me. 짧다, 짧은 치마. 예쁘다, 예쁜 꽃. 맛있다, 맛있는 음식. Well done. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the next grammar point. Our next grammar point here is 히읗 irregular verb. So in this case, if you remember earlier, we know that this sound makes a h sound, and the name of the actual consonant itself is what we call 히읗. And here, this word here means irregular. So let me just write it here. And then 동사 here means verb. So what we're looking at in this section is 히읗 irregular verb. So what the heck is a 히읗 irregular verb? Well, you'll notice that some verbs end in a final consonant 히읗 sound, this h sound. And in some verbs, when this is followed by or another vowel, the 히읗 drops out. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example. First example here is 빨간 치마는 어때요? So if you recall from the vocabulary section, this right here, this is red, and this comes from the word 빨갛다. And how we get this here is we combine it with the grammar point we just learned, the 은, to get this 빨간. Now you might notice, okay, we have 빨간, but where did this 히읗 go? Well, what happens is you'll notice here, this hiot is followed by this right here, or a vowel sound. So what happens is, this drops out, this hiot, and what we are left with there is this 빨간, as you can see right here. So now let's go ahead and read the sentence together. 빨간 치마는 어때요? Great. Now let's go ahead and take a look at another example. Our next example here is 하늘이 높고 파래요. Now in this case, let's focus here on this 파래요. So where does this come from? Well, the basic form of the verb here is 파랗다. And here, this is that 아요, 오요 that we learned a little earlier. So this is combined with 아요, as you can see, because the vowel here is 아. Now, again, this sound here is a vowel sound. So this hiot drops out. And now you can see that we get 팔아요. But what you need to pay special attention to is when you have this hiot irregular verb followed by either a or 어, this extra e is added. So if we take a look down here, we have this 팔아요. Now, because we use this a in this case, what we do is we add an extra e. Where does that e go? It goes right here, and we get 파래요, as you can see right here. Now, let's go ahead and read the sentence together. Please repeat after me. 하늘이 높고 파래요. Excellent. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the usage of this grammar point. So, as you can see in the first example here, when hiot, as in 빨갛다 in this example, is followed by a vowel, in this case the hiot goes away. In the second example here, you have the 파랗다, and here we have that 아, and what happens is when it's followed by the and 아, the hiot is removed and you add an e. So it's kind of a two-step deal in this case. So let's go ahead and read these examples together. Please repeat after me. We have 빨갛다, 빨간, 파랗다, 파래요. Well done. Now let's go ahead and take another look at the dialogue for this section.
어서 오세요. 뭘 찾으세요?
짧은 치마 있어요?
이 빨간 치마는 어때요? 디자인이 정말 예뻐요.
네, 아주 마음에 들어요.
Now, let's take another look at the dialogue. This time, let's read through it together. Listen and repeat after me. 어서 오세요. 뭘 찾으세요? 짧은 치마 있어요? 이 빨간 치마는 어때요? 디자인이 정말 예뻐요. 네, 아주 마음에 들어요. Now, let's go through the dialogue again. This time, you read the role of 지민.
어서 오세요. 뭘 찾으세요? 이 빨간 치마는 어때요? 디자인이 정말 예뻐요.
Great. Now let's go through the dialogue once more. This time, you read the role of the store employee.
짧은 치마 있어요? 네, 아주 마음에 들어요.
Well done. Now it's time for speaking practice. We will practice using the vocabulary and grammar we learned earlier in this section. Here, look at the picture and complete the sentence. Now here, what do we have? We have 치마 있어요, as you can see here. So, or skirt. And what kind of skirt are we talking about? Well, if you look up here, we have this word here, 짧다. And as you remember, that means short. So, what do you think would go in the blank here? What kind of 치마? Right, it would be 짧은 치마 있어요. Next here, we have a gentleman looking for a bag. So you can see here, we have the word 가방. And what kind of bag is he looking for? He wants one that's described as 크다 or big. So, what do you suppose would go in the blank right there? 저기 큰 가방을 보여주세요. This time, this woman is looking for some clothes. We can see that by her saying 옷을 없어요. So, the employee here brings out some black clothing. So you can see the color there is black. But the customer is looking for a different color. She wants clothes that are described as here, 밝다 or bright. So, what would the customer say? Since she's looking for bright colored clothes, she would probably say something like 밝은색 옷은 없어요? Now in this exercise, look at the picture and answer the question. Here, 혜진 asks a question to 준수. She asks, 무슨 색을 좋아해요? Or, what color do you like? Looking at the picture, what color does 준수 like? We can see here, we have a blue shirt, and we have the word 파랗다, which means blue in Korean. So it seems like 준수 likes the color blue. So, how would he respond? He would respond by saying 파란색을 좋아해요. Now here, if we look at this situation here, 준수 responds by saying 마음에 들어요, or that he likes it. So what do you suppose 혜진 asked to 준수? 이 가방이 something, and you can see that the verb we're interested in here is 어떻다, or how is it? So, what do you suppose that 혜진 would ask to 준수? She would ask, 이 가방이 어때요? Great! Now it's time for listening practice. Now, Jimin went to the store to buy clothes. There, she speaks with the store employee. What kind of clothes do you think Jimin is looking for? Listen carefully to the conversation.
어서 오세요. 뭘 찾으세요?
반팔 티셔츠 있어요?
이 노란 티셔츠는 어때요? 색깔이 정말 예뻐요.
네, 아주 마음에 들어요.
Were you able to understand the conversation? Let's check your understanding by answering a couple of questions. Now our first question here, question number 1 asks, 지민 씨는 무엇을 찾아요? Or, what is Jimin looking for? Our answer choices here are t-shirt, t-shirt, or blouse, or blouse. So, do you remember what Jimin was looking for? Right, she's looking for a t-shirt, so the correct answer would be t-shirt. Now our next question, question number 2 asks, 어떤 색깔을 마음에 들어 해요? Or, what color does she like? Our answer choices here are 파란색, blue, or 노란색, yellow. So, do you remember what color she likes? Right, she likes the color yellow, so the correct answer would be 노란색. Excellent. Now it's time for the vocabulary plus section. Here we will look at more words related to shopping and colors. So our first word here is 색깔. So here in this picture here we have various colors. We have red, green, blue, yellow, light blue, kind of a violet, black. So these are all examples of color, or in Korean we would say 색깔. So if I were to ask you, what color do you like? I would probably ask something like, 어떤 색깔을 좋아하세요? Now our next word here is 빨간색. Now, as you can see in the picture here, this means red. So what color do you like? I like red. Or in Korean, I could say that I like red by saying 저는 빨간색을 좋아해요. Now our next word here is 파란색. Now as you can see from the picture, this shirt here is blue, or it's 파란색, as you would say in Korean. Now this is blue clothing, or in Korean we could say 파란색 옷. So we can say that I like blue clothing by saying 저는 파란색 옷을 좋아해요. Now our next word here is 노란색. So here in this picture here you can see that this color here is 노란색, or yellow, and you can see that this is a picture of a scarf, or we would say 스카프 in Korean. So I could say something like I bought a yellow scarf by saying 저는 노란색 스카프를 샀어요. Our next word here is 검은색. Now this is black, or 검은색. So you can see the color right there is black. Now these are black shoes, or we would say 검은 구두 right here. So we say 검은 구두. Now someone put on these shoes and they are pretty. So we could say something like 검은색 구두가 어울려요, or that the black shoes look good on you. Now let's take a look at more words related to shopping. Now the first word here is 값이 얼마예요? So here the word 값 means price. So examples of prices would be 1,000원, 1,000원, 5,000원, 5,000원, and 만원, or 10,000 won. But let's say I don't know how much something costs. Then I can ask 얼마예요? As you can see right there, which literally means how much. Now if I want to be more specific and say how much is the price, I could put this together and say 값이 얼마예요? Now next we have 다른 색깔 있어요? Now as you can see, here we have the word 색깔 again, which we saw earlier means color. Now let's say you found some clothes you really like and you want to buy it, but you want to get it in a different color. Then you can ask 다른 색깔 있어요? Or is it available in a different color? So let's say it again. 다른 색깔 있어요? Now here we have the phrase 다른 디자인 있어요? Again, we have the word design, which we saw a little bit earlier. Now this time, let's say here in the picture, you want to buy clothing of a different design. So you can see that the employee brought out this type of pants, but he has different design in mind. So then he could ask 다른 디자인 있어요? Or is there a different design? So let's say it again one more time. 다른 디자인 있어요? Now let's practice with the words that we just learned. So let's say a customer enters the store. How would the employee greet that customer? Right. She would say 뭘 찾으세요? As you can see right there. So you can see the customer here is looking at hats, so she'd want to buy a hat, probably. So then how would she respond? She would say, 모자를 사고 싶어요, or that she wants to buy a hat. Now the employee searches around and finds a hat for her. So he asks her, 이건 어때요? Or how is this one? So it looks like you can see the expression on her face. She doesn't like the design. In fact, she has different designs in mind, as you can see in that thought bubble there. So then how would she respond? In other words, how would she ask for a different design? She would say, 다른 디자인이 있어요? Now the employee shows her a different hat with a different design, as you can see here. This hat right there. This time he asks her, 파란색은 어떠세요? Or, how is the blue one? However, the customer wants to look at a different color. As you can see here in our thought bubble, there is no color blue there. So, how would the customer ask to look at a different color? She would respond by saying, 다른 색깔 있어요? Unfortunately, there are no other colors available. So the customer decides to just go ahead and buy the blue one. The employee puts the hat in the bag, gives it to her, and says, 여기 있습니다, or here you go. Now, what does the customer have to do? Right, she has to pay for it. But she doesn't know how much it costs. So, what would she say in that case? Right, she would say, 값이 얼마예요? Great! Lastly, it is time for the Korean culture section. When you want to buy something, where do you tend to go? You would usually go to the market or department store. Today, we will explore Korean markets and department stores. What do you think markets and department stores in Korea are like? Let's take a look and find out.
한국의 시장과 백화점. 한국에는 재래시장도 있지만 많은 한국인이 대형 할인 매장이나 슈퍼마켓에서 물건을 삽니다. 새롭고 다양한 물건이 싼 가격으로 판매되기 때문입니다. 고급 제품이나 수입 명품을 살 경우 백화점에 가는데 백화점의 상품은 가격이 비싼 편입니다. 그래서 백화점 할인 기간을 이용하는 사람이 많습니다.
Now, let's go over what we learned today. Today's topic was shopping. We learned about vocabulary related to shopping and colors, and the grammar points, the marker 은, and irregular verbs. Finally, in the culture section, we explored Korean markets and department stores. So, how do you feel? Do you think you can now buy items in Korean? Great! Well, this brings us to the end of this lesson. See you next time!